lot of you requested a kit video after I posted a couple photos on Instagram. So this is going to be part 1 of my kit video. I had a lot of requests for more detailed breakdown of what I carry in my kit, what I use to condense, that kind of thing. So it is going to be a bit of a longer video, and I'm doing it in 2 parts because this bag here is my main kit bag that I carry all of my makeup products in. But I also do have another bag that has brushes, my lighting, and just some extra tools and my skin prep in. Eventually I want to get my skin prep into this bag and really only carry 1 bag, but unfortunately right now I'm not able to do that. If I am working a job that is 4 or less people, I will only bring this bag, and then I will throw my brushes and stuff in a tote bag and bring that with me. If I am working more than 4 people on a job, like for a wedding, then I have a rolling case that this sits on as well, and I will bring that along just so that I have extra brushes and extra space to carry extra things. This bag is a bag from Amazon. This is the large size bag from, I believe the brand is called Relavel. A lot of makeup artists have this bag. Usually their logo is across the top, but I didn't want to see it. So I tried to Sharpie over it and that didn't work. So I put one of these plastic sticky business card holders on the front, and then I just slipped a business card in here. Kind of see the logo. And then I can change out my business card as I get new ones so that everything kind of stays all together. Now this isn't the best option because, I mean, it does peel off at the sides. This is a fabric bag, so it's kind of hard to get this to stay on there, but you could always sew corners a little bit. These are so affordable, I just have a bunch, and every now and then I'll switch them out. But we'll kind of go over what is in this bag. I do primarily do bridal makeup as well as like special events and like school dances, stuff like that. And then I work with a couple of photographers as well to do some more creative shoots, but it's mostly just bridal. So things in here are more of basic colors. I don't carry a lot of like crazy color paints or anything super intense in here. So don't expect that, but yeah, we'll get into what is in this bag. I will link as much as I can down below, including this bag and these little clear business card holders. We'll also link down below where I get my business cards in case you are in the market for something like that. The site that I go through is fairly affordable. You can customize it really good, I'd say. And if you're not sure, they can give you like a makeup artist. They've got a bunch of templates so that you can kind of pick one to get you started if you're not sure how you want to set yours up. But let's go ahead and get into it. So this top section here isn't one that I get into very often. These are not usually in here. I had a bridal trial and it was a little less traditional bridal shades, and so that's why these are in here, but I don't carry these usually. So up here you have 3 mesh pockets, and then you have 1 big mesh pocket. In this pocket here I carry a cape just like you would wear at the hair salon. It's a little bit shorter, it only comes about chest high, but I like to have this with me in case somebody's already dressed. You never know what the situation is going to be, and I don't want to ruin anybody's clothes. In here I carry some extra kind of eyeshadow topper type things. I've got 3 Super Shock shadows from ColourPop in here. These are very pretty, and they definitely pack a punch. This one is a metallic shade, and these are ultra glitters. These are really great to add a little extra oomph and extra shine to a look, and so I do carry these. And then in here I also have, this is the Danessa Myricks Mini Lightwork Volume 3 palette. When I bought the big palette, it came with this as a mini, and so in here are just 4 kind of holographic iridescent type powders. I don't reach for these a lot, but they are fun, especially for like those school dances and stuff, if you want a pop of kind of like a sparkly color. I don't reach for it very often, but I do like to carry it with me. In this bottom section here, I usually have breath mints with me. These are very important. You are up close and personal in somebody's face, and you don't want to have bad breath, especially if you've got a thermos of coffee with you. They don't want to be smelling your coffee breath the whole time. So I always bring mints with me. You can do gum too, but I find that the mints are a nicer way. That way I'm not chomping gum in someone's face the whole time. But always have something like this in there. And then in there, I have this little metal case I got from Amazon. I will link it below. And this just holds extra business cards. You can fit about 20 in here. And just in case there's extra people that want a card or anything, or vendors, you can kind of have extra cards to pass those out and kind of network. And then I have a fabric face mask in here just in case I forget mine. You know, with the pandemic going on, it's always handy to have one with you. So I always just have a spare one in here just in case. That way I am never without. Down here are my not as used products. I just picked up these two RCMA foundation palettes. That's the KA series and the KO series. Heard a lot of great things about these foundations and I wanted to give it a try. Now in my area, I do primarily work on fair to medium skin tones. Not that I'm being discriminatory, it's just that's in my area, that's primarily what the client base is. I do have deeper skin tones in my kit and I absolutely do accommodate for that. But, you know, to try these out, I just picked up shades that I think I would reach for the most often. Yeah, so I'm excited to test these out. And then I have a few eyeshadow crayons in here. I don't use these a ton, but these are really pretty for bridal. Just as like a little pop of color, a little extra something. These two shades in particular are really great bridal shades. And when I use these, I do kind of like smash them off on a palette and then pick up with a brush from there. I don't use it directly from. This one in particular from Nude Sticks is one of my favorites. It's Desert Sun and it's like a really pale kind of concealer shade. This is a fairly new one. And this is really, really great if you need to carve out any sort of cut crease type of look. Now, it's not often that I'm doing anything like that, but it's a very light concealer shade, and it's a little bit, it's not as creamy and easily manipulated as a concealer would be for that. So I find that you have more control over it, but it's still creamy enough that you can get a nice blended line. So I think these is really great to just have on hand. So yeah, I've got some Nude Sticks, some ColourPop, this is Charlotte Tilbury, and then I have a little mini one from Tracetique. So I just carry these just in case. And then up here, I would put anything extra that I might need for a job, like for that bridal trial. I had a couple extra palettes here. So these would just be thrown up in this empty space so that I could have those products. And then the bottom section is, I think, what all of you really want to know. This is what I posted a photo of. This is the bulk of my makeup collection here that I use for clients. Now, I'm a very organized person. If things are not organized and clearly laid out, I have a really hard time processing that. I don't do very well at chaotic stuff, so I try to also organize things in an order-ish of how I do things. Up here I've got all my pencils, mascaras, these clips from Artist Kit Company, which are so great. And then down here is the bulk of the products. So up here I have mostly MAC lip liners. I have them categorized into 4 sections. These are my red tones, these are my more burgundy plums, and I've got pinky nudes and brownie nudes. That way it's a little bit more easier. If I know what I'm looking for, I can just pick from a category. I do have this one and this one are Morphe lip liners. They're pretty decent as well, but I do mainly reach for these. Over here I have eyeliners. I've got a brown and a black and a navy blue over here. These are what I'm reaching for most often, particularly brown and the black. And then over here I have a variety of nude pencils. Melt Cosmetics came out with a line of waterline pencils that are different shades of nude, so that you can kind of do that brightening effect on any skin tone, because I wouldn't want to put this brightening color on a deeper skin tone in their waterline because I think it would just be a little too stark. So I would go in with something like these just to brighten it a little bit more but not be so aggressive. So I do carry a few of those here. These are my mascaras. These are just the L'Oreal Voluminous mascaras. I think they're great. I've got a waterproof and a regular, and these are both black. And then over here I have a black brown mascara, which I do like to use occasionally for a more natural look. These are Danessa Myricks, her eyeliner pencils. They're all kind of have like a duochrome shift to them. They're a bit shimmery. This is a nice way I like to add a little extra color to a look or a little pop in a more wearable way. So I do have all 10 of them. And they do last a really, really long time. So I definitely recommend those. Again, these clips are from Artist Kit Company. It's a brand founded by a makeup artist, and he makes products that downsize and make your kit a little more efficient. And these jumbo clips are fantastic. I found that with the smaller ones, I had to use multiple to really get the hair out of the face, but with these, one on each side does a trick. It doesn't crease the hair at all, and honestly, they're really easy to use. I much prefer these. Over here, I have an Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, and then I have 5 of the Brow Wiz pencils from Anastasia Beverly Hills as well. And then in the corner here, I have an ink pen with my logo on it. I got this from the same place I do my business cards. So that again is linked below. And I just carry an ink pen with me at all times because you never know if you need somebody to sign a contract, if you need to make notes on something. It's just really, really handy to just have an ink pen, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. So now we're going to get into the part which I think you all really want to know. So I have it kind of categorized. Here I have primers. Got concealers, foundations, loose powders, and shade adjusters, pressed powders, cheek products, lashes, and some Danessa Myricks products, my lip products, and then all of my kind of palettes and setting sprays. I have a lot of these palettes from Artist Kit Company, which I will get into these towards the end, but I'll kind of work through in order of how I would do makeup. Back here I have primers. Most of them are in these Airless pump bottles from Amazon. I don't know that I recommend these, but I will link them down below. I believe these are 15 milliliter. It does hold an entire mini size of the Makeup Forever primers, in case you were wanting a reference there. But these do clog up on you sometimes and can be kind of a pain to work with. So like I said, I don't know that I recommend these a lot. But in case you're curious or you want to try them out, I will link them below. I have 2 Makeup Forever primers here. I've got the Shine Control and the Pore Minimizing one. I have 2 strobe creams from MAC in the Pink Light and Peach Light. You really only need one, but I like to have both. I have a primer that has a bit of a green tint for a slight color correction. And then I have 2 liquid illuminators. I have the Marc Jacobs Dewdrops, and then I have a Glow Lust from Auric Beauty. This one is my favorite. I will eventually be phasing this one out and just carrying the Glow Lust. It's very hydrating and glowy at the same time. It's a really beautiful product. It does kind of even out the skin tone a little bit as well. And it mixes well with foundation, used as a primer, or you can use it as a liquid highlight. So it's a very multi-use product. And a little goes a long way. And then back here I do have a liquid blush. This is from Milani, and it's just a nice rose shade. It lasts quite a while, and I find that I can use it on quite a few skin tones. And then I do have a little priming spray from Scandinavia. It's not something I reach for very often, but I'm trying it out. Here are my concealers. I have 10 of the mini NARS Radiant Creamy Concealers. I absolutely love this concealer. It's one of my favorite. NARS does concealers really well, in my opinion, so I do carry both of their concealers in my kits. This works really well for mature skin as well. I have some mini Tarte Shape Tapes in here as well. These I'm working on kind of phasing out of my kit. It's not that I don't like them, but I just find myself reaching for the other concealers in my kit more. So I just don't feel like I need these in there. I also have some of these Conceal and Correct palettes from MAC here. You get 2 correctors and 4 concealer shades. I really like these. I find that the correctors work really well, and I think that these cover blemishes great, and they also cover some hyperpigmentation pretty well in a more natural kind of finish. And then along those lines, I also have the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealers in a few shades, and this is one of my all-time favorite concealers. You can really cover blemishes really well, even if I'm doing a very light coverage look. This is one of my favorite products to cover blemishes, and it looks so skin-like and natural even though it's a matte concealer, and it's just really become one of the staples in my kits. For foundations, I keep most of all of my foundations in these bottles from Artist Kit Company. They're a squeezy bottle, flip top, and you can just really easily squeeze out the product. I definitely recommend you check those out. We'll talk about Artist Kit Company a little bit more later. Right now, I carry a few shades of Face and Body. I carry some Studio Fix Fluid from MAC, which I am phasing out of my kit. It's not my favorite product to work with, but I do have it. And I'm replacing that with the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue foundation. It's become one of my favorites. And I do have 5 shades in here right now, but I have more that will be going in. And then I have some Pro Longwear Waterproof Foundation. This is really great for outdoor brides. And I just think that it works really, really well in a very like sweaty environment. So I definitely recommend having something that can hold up to the heat. Back here I have my loose setting powders, and I have these in these dropper bottles from Kitpak, and let me tell you, these are a game changer. I love these so much. They're a nice way to get a very controlled powder. So you take the lid off. They don't leak anywhere either, but it's a very like fine top there, so you can really just like put it into a little cup, and it's very controlled. It's easy to control how much you're getting out, and you're not flinging powder everywhere. It's so great. So I carry the RCMA No Color powder, and then I do have 4 shades of the Maybelline Fit Me loose powders. I really like these. They're very finely milled and sit nicely on the skin, and then they do provide a little bit of extra coverage. Back here are some shade adjusters for foundations. I don't reach for these a ton. If I do reach for one, it is typically the white. But I also have a blue, a yellow, and an orangish shade, just in case you really gotta know color theory to kind of mix them appropriately. I also carry a white in the Face and Body, just because this white does not play well with that formula. And I do recommend you have a white adjuster in your kit, just because you might think you have a pale enough foundation shade until you don't. And there's no way to really correct that other than lightening it with a white base. Yeah, so then over here I have pressed powders. I have 4 of the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish powders. These are really beautiful, especially if someone's looking a bit dry. I like to add some luminosity to the skin. So I do carry 4 shades of those. And then I have the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder in translucent. This is a really great powder. It kind of smooths the pores out. It doesn't leave any sort of flashback or white cast that I've found. And it's super affordable. It's great. So I'd like to carry that with me. And then in these 2 palettes, these are Artist Kit Company Palette 1.0s. Again, we'll touch on Artist Kit Company a little bit more later. But I have mini Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powders in here. I like these powders. Eventually, I do want to carry the full size. However, for now, these work for me. I love these for mature skin. I just find that they sit so well and so beautifully, and they don't emphasize anything going on with the skin. I have the shades Fair, Medium, and Tan. I did have the shade Deep, but it did unfortunately shatter when I tried to depop these, and I learned my lesson, so I just need to replace that. These are my cheek products, and these might be one of my favorite things in my kit ever. These are all powders from Nabla. So the brown colored ones are their skin bronzing powders, and the pink ones are their skin glazing powders. I have all 4 of their bronzer shades. I have 3 of the highlighter shades, and then these 4 up front are more of like a glowy blush topper type of moment. They're really beautiful. They are a baked gelée formula, and they have a really beautiful sheen to them. They have a nice amount of pigment, but it's not overly pigmented. You can still build them up. And they look really, really natural. There's no glitter or chunky anything in these. So I definitely recommend checking these out if you've never tried them. I do think Nabla is just a great brand overall. And these cheek products have been my favorite that I have found. So I've got 4 of the shades, and I have them labeled kind of as like what type of color they are, just for easy picking. So my blushes are here. Same with their bronzers. They've got a nice range of shades. These aren't quite as glowy as the highlighters or the blush toppers, but they do have a nice natural luminosity to them. And again, you can build them up, but they do still have a nice pigment. And then for the highlighters, you can get You can build these up and get a very like intense wet look highlighter, but they do really beautiful for like a subtle everyday. I like to use these on brides. And I find the packaging really easy to work with. They're pretty slim. They all line up quite well in here. And you can easily just pull one out and see what it is. I do have a couple other highlighters over here. I don't really feel like I need them, but there is one that I feel like I can't live without, and that is this gem. It's like $4, and it's the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. It looks kind of like nothing in the pan, but it is the most beautiful, natural lit from within glow. I can use this on almost every skin tone. It doesn't work for really deep skin, but it just is so beautiful. And sometimes I will use this to kind of add a glow to the whole face. It's a little bit glowier than the mineralized skin finish, but it's so beautiful. So anybody that wants a more natural kind of glow, or mature skin if you want to add a little bit of highlight to them, this is a really beautiful option. And again, it's like $4. I also have the Ofra highlighter in Beverly Hills, which I have labeled universal because it kind of works for everybody. I don't reach for this very often, but I do makeup for people that go to like high school dances and stuff, and sometimes they do want that really intense like Instagram glow, and so this will really give it to them. And I've got a variety of shades here, and this is a bit more metallic, sparkly, in your face. So I do like to have that option just to accommodate. And then I have two from MAC here. I have Soft and Gentle, which is a staple and a beautiful bridal shade. And then for the deeper skin, I have Global Glow. Up front here, I have a few Danessa Myricks Color Fix. Now, I usually carry with me the black and white shades, as well as Primary Red, the Primary Blue, and the Primary Yellow. But I was working that wedding, so I did add a couple extra shades in here, and I have more of these. I just kind of switch them out depending on what type of look that I'm doing. That way I'm not carrying every single shade with me in my kit when I know that I don't need them. Right here is a Vueset Taxi palette, and this carries all of my lashes. So I've got 4 sections here of strip lashes from Ardell, and then this front section here has individuals and trios. And then I have them labeled on the back. The Ardell Naked Lashes have become my all-time favorite to work with. They've got such a lightweight, natural band. I've had people tell me that they are the most comfortable lashes that they've ever worn, and they can't tell if they're on. They're really easy to put on, and I find that they do really look like your lashes, but better. Now, they do have some more dramatic styles, so you can absolutely get a little crazy with it. They're not all super natural, but they feel natural, and they look more of like a natural lash. And then I do carry some of the foam inks as well for a little bit more dramatic lashes. Also in here, I have a Nabla glitter palette. I have a couple of these. They make 3 of them. And this is a really great way to carry glitter if you use it on occasion. I have this one in here because I was using red tones and golds for my bride. But it's very slim and compact, and they are a pressed glitter, so they don't make a huge mess. You could just scoop a little bit out and work from there. And they do have, like, stay in the eyes really well. So if you are somebody that uses glitter on occasion, I would recommend checking these out. They do have, like I said, a couple other shades with some lighter and more, like, I don't want to say bridal, but more neutral tone shades. This is just more of like a holiday palette they released. But these are great, and you can kind of just slide it in anywhere, which I find amazing. Takes up no space at all. Love it. Back here are my lip products. Now, I carry Dose of Colors liquid lipsticks. It is my favorite liquid lip formula ever. You can use it on anybody, even if they have dry lips. As long as you are prepping appropriately, you can make a liquid lipstick work. I carry 12 shades of these, and I really enjoy them. You can eat and drink with them on, and they last a long time, and when they do wear down, they wear nicely. They don't get crumbly and patchy like some other liquid lipsticks do. So I've got some warmer tone pinky shades, some nude shades, some cooler tone pinks, and then I have a couple more fall tone shades. And then, of course, I have a bright red and a brick red. Just in case, I do carry a couple mini ABH liquid lipsticks. I personally despise this formula. I think it is horrible. It is the most drying liquid lipstick I've ever used. It literally sucks the life out of anybody's lips. Even if they have like the most soft, luscious lips, like this will wreck them. at least in my opinion. I know some people really like these. I think the colors they have are beautiful, and people, this is a well-known brand, so sometimes people do see this and they're like, oh yeah, I want the ABH liquid lip. So I do carry these. However, if I'm using this on a client, I do either apply a touch of lip balm over top to add a little bit of moisture, or I will put a gloss on top. It's not something that I like to put directly on somebody's lips unless they personally request it, but I always warn them beforehand. And I have the shades Crush and Ashton in these. They're really great bridal shades. Then I have one of my favorite items in my entire kit. These are the Tower 28 lip glosses. They are vegan and cruelty free. They are super shiny, they are not sticky, and they are not like so disgustingly thick on the lips that you feel like you're wearing just nasty thick gloss. So I carry a clear with me, as well as 5 of their neutral tone shades. So I have like a warm brown and a pink, and then I have a lighter pink, a more neutral kind of brown, and then a very light color. These are really beautiful. They are sheer glosses, and I definitely think that if you're in the market for a new gloss, definitely check these out. I think they're a game changer, and I believe they're like 15 bucks, so they're really not that bad at all. You can get them at Sephora or their website as well, and they do sell them in like a bundle. They also have more shades than that. These are just the shades that I like to carry. And then this section is primarily Artist Kit Company palettes, and then a few Stila glitters. I carry Smoldering Satin and Kitten Karma. I don't reach for these a ton, but these are really pretty shades if you want that glittery look. Now, Artist Kit Company. I do really, really enjoy this company's products. I think they're great. But I do want to warn you that if you are wanting to purchase from this company, to make sure that the first thing you are doing is going to the website and reading the FAQ. Before you do anything, before you try to follow them on Instagram, before you do anything, read the FAQ. And make sure that you are reading it and understanding it, not just skimming it over. And then at that point, it is a private Instagram page, so, you know, he does go through and approve every single follower, but it really is a game changer for makeup artists. It's a great way, you'll see once I get into some of these palettes, it's a great way to carry a ton of products in very small, lightweight packaging. So let's get into these palettes here. All of these smaller palettes are the palette 1.0s, and then these larger palettes are the palette 2.0. I do have a couple of, he released some limited edition shades, so I do have a couple of those. In this neon palette, I carry the Vizart, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. This is the Editorial Brights palette, the mini one. Like I said, I do primarily bridal, so I don't need a lot of bright colors, but I do like to have some on hand, and this is a great selection of them. And then, this is the limited edition pink palette. I carry the cream gel colors from ColourPop in here. What I like about these is you can use them as a paint, you can use them as a liner, you can use them as a cream shadow and blend them out with a brush, and they work well in any way. And they're very affordable. One thing I will tell you is the Artist Kit Company palettes are not airtight. So your products that are creams will dry out in here. As you see, these look a little dry. But that is where Inglot Duraline comes in. And you can really easily revive your products with this. And then the Duraline also gives it more of a waterproof quality. Also a makeup artist staple. So yeah, I like to carry these. I've got some fun metallic shades, a black, a white, and then all of the colors that I could really need. And then in here, this is my bold lip palette. Most of these are MAC lipsticks. I do have a couple Makeup Forever and Bite Beauty lipsticks in here. And I think a couple Melt Cosmetics. But this is all of my kind of bold lips. So up here I've got pinky coral oranges. I've got my traditional reds with different undertones. I've got my more deeper bricky reds, and then I've got plums and purples. And I don't have shade names anywhere on here, but the bottom of the pans are numbered, and I have like a big master list of all the names that correspond to the numbers. So if anybody really wants to know what a specific shade is, I can pull the pan out and get the list and tell them. And I usually keep that list in here. Not currently, but that's usually where I just kind of stash it in there. That way if anybody asks, I can tell them. Also, there's 20 lipsticks in here. talk about space saver. This is the size of a credit card, and it holds 20 lipsticks versus 20 tubes of lipsticks. It's insane. I also have a neutral lip palette. This is the one I reach for most for bridal. Again, these are mostly MAC lipsticks. A couple Charlotte Tilbury in here. Couple ColourPop. But down here I've got my more mauve tones, I've got pinkies, I've got warmer nudes, and then up here I've got neutral and cool. I usually use these shades for mixing. And then I have an empty pan here. I ran out of one of my colors and I haven't replaced it. So yeah, but again, I've got 19 lipsticks in here. Pans are numbered, and it's just really, really great. And most of the time you're not using a full pan of lipstick when you're doing a bridal party anyways. So this is really plenty to have with you. These palettes over here, I have two brow palettes. These are the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duos. I have a warm tone and a cool tone brow palette. For me, that's just the easiest way to work. I know if somebody's got more warm tone hair, I'm going to pull from the warm tone palette and vice versa. And I do really like the ABH brow powders. They are very pigmented. You got a lot of shades, and I think I have every shade from them. And they fit really nicely in these palettes as well. And then over here, I have a cream eye palette. Again, this is not airtight, so things look a little intense. I need to refill my liner. But this is MAC Black Track. And then I have 3 paint pots from MAC. And then I also have 2 cream shadows from ColourPop, which are almost exact dupes for the paint pots from MAC in my opinion, and they're like $8. Here I have Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomades. I also have a Fenty Beauty brow wax in case I don't want to use the brow gel. And then this is the KVD Vegan Beauty. It's a brow pomade, but it's in the shade Bleach. So if I'm doing a more creative shoot, working with a photographer, and I need to do like a bleached brow moment, this is a really great way to fake that. And then I have a cream cheek palette here as well. I've got a couple Tower 28 blushes, some LYS Beauty blushes, a couple blushes from Nude Sticks here, a few highlighters, and then some contour and bronzing shades. And I just have them labeled on the front here. Most of these are really pigmented, so you don't need very much anyway. And this is a nice way to carry all of these cream products. And he does sell these pans. He sells this size and the small size pan that you can put in there. There are empty pans that you fill up. But it's nice that you can kind of mix and match and fit what works best for you in there. And it's really easy with them being magnetic. You can mix and match and rearrange your stuff quite easily if you don't like how they are sitting. Before we get into the big palettes, I'm going to jump over here. These are my setting sprays, and these are the Artist Kit Company spray bottles. These are a new thing to my kit, and I gotta say, I'm obsessed. They are so small, they don't take up a lot of space, they don't take up, like, they're not super tall. They hold a really nice amount of product, and they have a really nice fine mist. I have the Scandinavia Bridal Set. I carry MAC Fix Plus, and then I also have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Set. This does nothing to prolong the wear of your makeup, but it is really, really beautiful to add a dewy glow back in, especially if someone's looking a little dry after you powder or anything. This is beautiful. Okay, now the big palettes. I have a couple face palettes here. This is my warm blush palettes. These are all MAC blushes. And then I also have a more cool tone pinky blush palette. These are matte blushes, and if I don't want to use any of the glowy Nabla powders, I will reach from here. But these are really beautiful shades. I bought all these pans individually from MAC so I could kind of curate what I wanted. And they fit decent in the AKC palettes. I did have to reinforce them with a stronger magnet because that's just how MAC pans are, but I do think this is really nice. He does sell like a bigger square pan that fits in these palettes that you can repress your products into. I am not brave enough to try that, and I don't trust myself not to fuck it up, so I don't do it. So this is good for me. And then I have a little contour palette here, like a Shade and Light. These are MAC powders from both of their contour palettes. I just depotted and picked the ones that I work with the most. And then we get into eyeshadows. These are my more warmer shadows. Right now I carry almost all of Viseart shadows in my kit. This is the warm matte palette, the petite one, and this is the dark mattes. And then these are from one of their other palettes. It's, I think, the Cashmere palette. Really pretty, like mauvey purple tones. So I have those. Then I have my more cool neutrals. So this is the cool tone matte palette and the neutral matte palette. And then these as well came from that same Cashmere palette. And then I have my shimmer palette. I do primarily bridal, so I do work a lot with this middle section. I do carry a bit of deeper shades and then a couple more springy shades because I do get requests for those. A lot of people really love this green. And these are all shades from either the Cashmere palette from, I know I'm saying that wrong, I'm so sorry, from Vueset, or the Paris Love Letter palette. But I really love these shimmers, and everybody that I've used these on is absolutely obsessed. They're really good bridal shimmers. And then if I need a little more extra oomph, or if I'm working primarily for special event makeup, I will reach for this palette. These are the Dose of Colors Block Party eyeshadows. They're more of a sheer base, so they're more of like an eyeshadow topper, and they have some glitter and some reflect in them, and they're just really, really beautiful. I use a couple shades in here for bridal, but a lot of times these are more for like school dances, special event type makeup. But they're really beautiful. I think they're discontinued, unfortunately. I really hope the Dose of Colors will bring them back in the future, but for now, this is all we have. Yeah, that is pretty much all of my kits. At least for makeup. Like I said, my skin prep is not in here, and neither are my tools or brushes. But again, I'm trying to eliminate a couple items in here to make some more space and hopefully get that down into one bag. One thing I do want to note about this bag is the original bag on Amazon comes with foam dividers, which are great. They do add a little bit of padding to your kit, which I think is nice. However, cleaning and sanitizing them is awful because they are a porous material, and I find that they stain and they just look terrible. Because I am the way I am, I wanted plastic inserts and I was going to make that happen no matter how I had to. So I bought a second bag, similar style, but it didn't have any straps or any of the storage up here, from Impressions Vanity. And I particularly bought it because it was almost the exact same measurements as this, and it had these plastic dividers in it, which are much easier to clean. Now, it's not as customizable because, you know, you can only fit them in these certain slots. You can't put them this way. So that is one issue with the plastic dividers. But the entire, like, basin that it sits in is all plastic. And I just popped all the foam out of this and put the plastic in, and that's how I work. And I really love it. Like I said, I find it a lot easier to keep clean and sanitized. But I know it's not for everybody, and like I said, it does cut down on your customization options. But I will link the Impressions Vanity bag that I purchased down below as well as this bag. I will link Artist Kit Company, and I will also link Vueset because that is where I got these. And then I will link these Airless pump bottles from Amazon. If you have any questions about what is in this kit, or you want to know specific shade names or anything, please feel free to comment below or send me a personal message. My Instagram is at miss_Megan_MUA. I will also leave that down below, and I'm happy to answer any questions. And if you want to see what I carry as far as tools and skin prep and all that stuff, I will do a second video, so definitely come back for that. Yeah, so I hope this was what you were all looking for. And like I said, questions, comments, want to see more, please leave it down below. Bye!